What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my garage simulator. This is Turbo Talon Golf. My name is Shelby Iverson, same as it was yesterday, same as it has been for the last 44 years, almost 45. Let's see if we can get the chat up here. There we go. You're not going to be able to see it. I'm not going to be paying much attention to it. We're playing Bogey's Backyard Golf League. Today's the 9th of November, 2025. This will wrap up my leagues for the week, but you can see I haven't even touched my tournaments. And it's Sunday, so they're not happening. And they're all 2 rounds, so probably not today. Maybe in another video. We'll see how I feel after this one. Bogey's usually pretty difficult. 6-foot gimmies, 6,300 yard tees, Thursday pins. Greens and fairways are normal. We got a stimp of 11. We got no wind, and we're at 400 feet above sea level. Let's get it loaded up. Let's get it loaded up. I just got done playing the 2-foot gimme league, and when I went in to try to get into the league, SGT let me know that I owed it money. Apparently I didn't auto renew. But one thing I was kind of weirded out about is it was 120, I think it was 120 for the pro package. And I didn't remember the pro package being that much last year. But I was just pretty excited to get playing SGT, so it didn't matter. Okay, we got a little bit of ambient here. Hopefully you guys are getting a little bit of something. One video I did recently, it was completely drowned out by bird audio. Shouldn't be a huge deal. If anything's too loud or not loud enough, so I'm sure somebody will let me know in the chat. All right, water's in play. Last round was a mixed bag of slicing and hooking. That should be a good little shot. Ball speed's not quite up to snuff. And that had a good bit of backspin, but it was still a good shot. Try to get the ball speed up into the 150s. Sometimes it tickles 160s, but not typically, unless I'm doing outright speed training. Yeah, that was pulled pretty good. Gotta make sure that swing plane's from in to out. We know on normal greens, they're typically gonna have 5 or 10 yards of rollout. If you hit the ball thin like I just did, it's going to be more. All right, that's better than a double bogey on the first hole, I suppose. This is playing 160. That's a nice little fader. 4,300 backspin on a 7-iron though. Not really getting the kind of backspin that I want. You can see that ball won't stick on normal greens, and it sure as shit not gonna stick on a firm or a links green, right? 15-footer. That wasn't bad. It's your par and go home. HLA was under 1 degree. I feel like this bird tweeting audio is going to be too loud, and I'm going to be mad about it later. You can't change anything in a live stream. If you're editing a pre-recorded video, you can at least try to go in and fix some of the hi-fi issues. Little fade there. We'll see if it stays anywhere. That's odd. Must not be focused on GS Pro. All right, to get over this water, we'd have to carry 220. And if I can get a hold of the ball with this 3-wood, I can do that. Let's just see what happens. Must have been a little over the top or something, and we're gonna be maybe not wet. So carry was 230 in the launch monitor, 211 in GS Pro, but we were going uphill, so that makes sense. But you can see that was any more left and that ball's wet. Not quite enough. What'd we do wrong there? 48 carry. Okay, we lost 20 yards of carry. That probably didn't help anything. No roll out. So we're putting for par on a par 5. Good drive, good approach. And then the dreaded double chip. Should have been at least on the dance floor on after 3, but it just didn't quite turn out that way. Does it ever turn out the way you want it to? So what's that? A couple of bogeys and a par, I think. Couple of bogeys and a par. I'm not hitting very well. Hopefully this doesn't slice off into the water. Let's aim up toward that cart path. It went exactly the direction we told it to, maybe a little more left. Now we're going to be playing from behind a tree, probably out of deep rough. Oh yeah, this is a nightmare shot, guys. Par 4 as well. You can see we got colliders. Is there anywhere I can hit where I'm not dead? I think what we're going to do is send up a Hail Mary and see what happens. And hopefully we don't ricochet into the water. Hopefully it just kills it or doesn't do too much bad stuff to us. Okay, it did ricochet, but it went left, thankfully. Might even be in the fairway. 2 strokes in on a par 4, and we're still 50 yards from the green, though. That's not going to win you any prizes. That wasn't a bad shot at all. If it would have stopped, we would have been okay. But now we got to try to putt, which usually doesn't turn out. 10-foot putt usually doesn't turn out too successful. Yeah, right over the hole. Several feet too long. There's you another bogey. 3 over after 4. Okay, we got some water in play here on number 5. As long as I don't hit anything too far to the left, we shouldn't be in the water. Famous last words, right? Nope, that's a nice little drive right down the middle. Beautiful little drive. 2400 RPM of backspin. Really not much to complain about there. Little 280 yard poke. .66. Too hot, too left. But it wasn't a hosel rocket. It wasn't skinny. It was a good shot, I think. Come on. All right, we're gonna have to putt. We're gonna have to earn this par. Looks like I might be able to sink this putt. 9-footer, 9.5-footer. 10 feet, should have it die at the hole. Not quite dead at the hole, but we'll take the par. All right, number 6, Great River GC. Again, we got some OB in play. Hopefully I can hit another semi-decent drive. That's going right, but it ain't going OB. We know that. Playing off an adjacent hole, 240 up, out of rough. Really got to get a hold of this golf ball, but it's a par 5. Let's see what kind of a mess we can get ourselves into here. A little fadey, slicey thing. Almost got that members bounce. That's not bad. What's going on, brother? Feel like I haven't heard from you in 100 years, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Bogey never picks easy courses, but a lot of times I'm shooting myself in the foot, you know. Okay, we carried 36 raw. We lost 10 yards on that, so if I'd have done a little bit better gonkulating, we might have been in the gimme circle. Life's slowing down a bit. Is it because it's winter or something else? If you don't want to talk about it, that's cool too. All right, there's your little tap in. You'd be happy with that on the real course, but for some reason we give ourselves a real hard time here in the simulator. We think we should be playing a lot better golf than we really are capable of. I don't feel like being that guy today, so what you see is what you get here. Another lovely little drive. Been working on driver a lot. I don't know what it looks like outside because I've only been working on it in here. But driver's easier to hit outside than it is in the simulator, in my opinion. So I think if they're going straight in here, they're probably going straight outside too. It's tough to tell. Also, I have the wrong club in my hand. That club won't go far enough. Okay. Yeah. Life. Sometimes you feel like you got life figured out and then it throws you a curveball. Get a new job. Pursue a different career opportunity maybe, you know. Okay guys, that was severely short. Even in the launch monitor software, I'm not sure what happened there. Didn't swing at it hard enough. That's usually my go-to club for that shot, but it didn't work. Looks like you got something scheduled for tonight, I think, right? I've been seeing it notifying me. Guys, you can't be double chipping like that. That's gonna get you bogeys and doubles. It sucks, is what it is. There's your bogey. Can't be double chipping. You're gonna pay. You can maybe get away with it on a par 5, but generally you're gonna get it in the pooper, in the poop chute. That's awesome. I want to try to get a couple more rounds in outside, but I've been going so hard all summer. Like I don't even want to look for a tee time. Just so over it. Come on, draw over. That's going to be way to the right. Maybe a 2-putt par. That's in a different area code than the pin though. And it's leaking and it's downhill, so this could be quite an adventurous putt here. 56 down. Okay, that was supposed to break a little more than it did. Maybe I pushed it a couple of degrees. Not quite. I think it was a misread. Ooh, HRG2. You might have something special for me. Dude, you don't need to do anything for me. I appreciate it, but you don't have to do anything for me. I'm just chilling. Casey's she's already decorating for Christmas. She's in there doing it right now. She's a crazy lady, but to each their own. That's a lovely little shot, little fader. Hopefully it ain't in the water. Oh, don't hit that sidewalk. Okay guys, back through the back of the fairway. So what you've got is just a gorgeous little 275-yard drive that I'm now going to be hitting out of the deep rough. It is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. Oh, okay. I don't have any skills to test, but I'll be sure to play your league, sir. Man, this poor button box. This poor button box. Some of the buttons are already stopping. They're not responding anymore. So that every little hit counts. Okay, that wasn't a bad chip. You'd be pretty happy with that out on the golf course, but like I said, for some reason in GS Pro, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. Damn it. 16 feet. That was tracking. Bogey Central here. What are we up to now? 5 over, so we're playing bogey golf. Half bogey. Oh, okay. Okay, she doesn't like... My wife used to decorate the day after Thanksgiving as well, but she does so much decorating and it takes so long that she's starting early. And she'll probably leave it up. We don't really ever entertain company, so she'll probably leave it up until about end of January. Okay. I think you're supposed to have a little more than 5,000 backspin on your 7-iron. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'll figure it out as I go. So the button box, every button works except for the left button. So I'm going to pull the top off and see if something came undone. Not to put the guy on the spot, but some of the electrical connections in this box are not up to code, if I can say it that way. They're very loose. That's all I'll say. I guess I just expect a little more for something that's $300. I didn't really change anything. I just been doing a lot of swing speed training, which in itself is absurd because it seems like everybody's chasing ball speed. I mean, you can have 170 mile an hour ball speed, but if you have 6,000 RPM of backspin on it, it's not going to go as far as somebody who's hitting, you know, 155 mile an hour ball speed with 1,800 backspin. I would say if I was king for a day, we'd stop chasing ball speed and we'd start chasing the end result, because that end result is we want to carry the ball a long way. But this kind of golf bro culture is ball speed, ball speed, ball speed, right? Kick into the fairway. Foof, you're talking to the wrong guy, buddy, but I'm doing okay. Yeah, my angle of attack is what's killing my backspin. I'm trying to come more up on the ball, but it's a slow and iterative process, unfortunately, as you well know. Nothing changes overnight. The only thing that happens overnight is you forget how to golf. But everything else is pretty, just kind of happens on its own good time, you know. Yeah, I don't have any issue with trying to get more distance. I just don't understand why everybody's chasing ball speed. Oh, this poor button box. I feel so bad for it. It's just getting cooked. We'll take that. I got to do something so this button box stops getting hit. Ball's coming off with a lot of backspin because these balls are so cheap and the jacket's so hard on them, and it's just smoking the shit out of this box. Let's try moving it. Let's try moving it up here and seeing if it stops getting so much collateral damage. But all the buttons seems to work. All of the buttons seem to work except for this one, this left button. T-box left and right works. I'll pull it apart and figure it out. But I'm not doing it with a manual screwdriver again because that was an exercise in futility. It's already on a little like 22.5-degree stand. Sometimes I'll put it up here with the keyboard, but what I should do is switch back to premium golf balls is what I should do. I just can't resist these cheap balls. Little fader there. We're not trying to hit fades, we're trying to hit draws, but that should do just fine. And no good deed goes unpunished. There's another 275-yard drive that is in the rough. In a downhill lie, uphill is what it is, folks. Hey Tim, how are you? Good to see you guys in the chat. That was pretty thin. We'll see where that goes. Good old golf. Pissing people off since whenever golf started. So, Flying Fat Kid, I just looked at the picture you sent me. My grandparents build a lot of puzzles, like these really nice puzzles. They're really good at picking them. And then they'll put some sort of Mod Podge or something on them so that they stay together, and then they'll frame them. I didn't know if you guys did anything like that with yours. That putt was pretty hot. It might have fallen in real life. It might not have. We'll give GS Pro the benefit of the doubt. Wizard of Woz has been playing Unicore's some courses in Unicore's ecosystem. I'm not sure what the ecosystem's called because I have the attention span of a goldfish. But he says the physics are a lot more on point than GS Pro's are, but GS Pro has better graphics. it's only unicore, so I can't try it unless there was some kind of API or something, some underground API release that let us use it with other launch monitors. Tim, I'm playing okay. I'm 3 over after 12 at Great River Golf Club, which is Bogey's Backyards League for this week. I appreciate you asking, my friend. Foof, what are PXG Extreme Tour X's? Is that a golf ball or a club? I guess I'm not hip. That's my bad. That might come back a little bit, but it's going to be in the bad stuff. That'd have been a real pretty shot with the 7-wood there. It's a par 5 though, so we'll get some relief. Sean, I'm using these cheap MAXFLI TRIFLIs. I saw them at Dick's Sporting Goods and they're 15 bucks a box and they're marked up like TP5Xs, so I couldn't resist. That was thin. Okay. Guys, we were just talking about GS Pro's physics, so take a look at this replay. This should not happen in a $250 a year piece of software, but check out this replay. Watch what this ball does at the transition. Doink. That ball probably would have rolled pretty close to the circle, if not into it. That really irks me. So that cost me a stroke. That's pretty lame. Anything that calls itself a golf simulator should not have anything like that happening in it. You know? So whatever this is, a bogey, par, that would have been a birdie. So usually I'm getting pars stolen from me, but this time GS Pro stole a birdie from me, which is doubly aggravating. But there's nothing I can do about it. Submit a bug report to GS Pro. Whatever. That's stuff that you should not be contending with this late in the game. GS Pro's not in beta. I don't know. That's just aggravating. Alpine Trader played 36 holes this weekend. That's badass. That's awesome. Sure beats the hell out of being in my garage like a chode live streaming. PXGs. I didn't know PXG made golf balls. I'll have to check that out. But guys, the reason I like these and the reason I bought them is because they're already marked up. They come from the factory like this. This one's got dollar signs. There's one with beer cans. And there's one with little skull and crossbones on it. Because I'm normally not a $15 a box guy. But they're getting a lot of attention. I think Hazel Rocket Golf did something on them and he uses them now too. But they're basically cheap versions of TP5X. And when I say cheap, I mean extremely cheap. They feel nothing like TP5Xs at all in any way, shape, or form. So don't get any ideas. Straight shot, but it was thin. We might be okay. Yeah, I don't know if I was getting good spin with the premium golf balls either. I could play in the next hole. I mean, you could call it a sprinkler head, I guess, for that little collision issue. See, I would play Srixon or Srixon. I would play Srixon's ball because they actually have a pretty good, like their ball stands up pretty well to some of the higher end golf balls that I've seen in different testing. But these MAXFLIs, MAXFLI is a subsidiary brand of Dick's Sporting Goods. Like you can't even buy them at some golf shops. And they're not high quality golf balls. They're made for guys like me who are still putting golf balls in the drink. They're pretty easy to hit straight because the jacket's on them so hard. You'll get your golf sim ready to go sooner or later. And then you'll find out it's awesome for a long time and then it just gets to be sort of old. Okay, I want to hit about 122, so I got to hit my 110 club here. That was fat. Maybe it'll get up. See, like, where's that ball going? That was kind of a weird shot. Yeah, you won't be able to find them at the PGA Superstore. My local golf shops don't sell them. You got to go to Dick's Sporting Goods, and I think there was another place that carries them. I'm guessing they're either another subsidiary of Dick's or they're the parent, the owner of Dick's. Man, there's a lot of dick talk going on in the chat here. 35. I pushed that, but it was also a pretty bad misread. Excuse me, I pulled it. Yeah, I sauntered over to the golf shop that's about 15 minutes away from me down here in Riverdale, Utah. And the guy's like, yeah, you're not going to find those anywhere but at Dick's Sporting Goods and maybe a couple of other places. And if you look at the box, I think it says something about Dick's Sporting Goods on it. As you can see, I have about 12 boxes of them. I couldn't resist. They're so cheap. Yeah. Conforms with the rules of golf, Dick's Sporting Goods Incorporated, blah, 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 Pennsylvania, made in Taiwan. I wouldn't venture to say there's a whole lot of golf balls that are manufactured in the US anymore anyway. I know Pro V1s are. But I found some interesting things out about stuff that says it's made in the USA or made in Italy or whatever isn't necessarily made there. I heard something about one of these big expensive purse companies, not Coach or Louis Vuitton or whatever, and I only know this because I'm married. But the entire purse, it's like a $5,000 purse and it's made in China. But when it gets to Italy or wherever, they put a little leather stamp on it that says Louis Vuitton or whatever, made in Italy or France or whatever. So it's just making me become less trusting than I already am of everything, pretty much. Just becoming more and more and more of a cynical old man. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Just let me aim to the center of the green here, maybe slightly to the left of center. I pulled it. Must have come over the top. Yeah. My wife and I were visiting, we were vacationing in Scotland in May, and I had a round of golf scheduled at this place we were staying over near Loch Lomond. And I needed some golf balls and I needed some tees because I was renting clubs from the place I was playing at. And so I went to buy a box of Pro V1s, which I had no business playing Pro V1s. I still don't. But every single box that I went to buy, the first one felt funny. And so I opened it up, and one of the sleeves was empty. So there were 9 golf balls in there. Picked up another one, empty sleeve. Picked up another one, empty sleeve. Picked up another one, empty sleeve. I had to go clear back about 10 or 12 boxes on the shelf before the sleeves were all full. That might not stay in the circle. I think that's one of the first gimmies I've missed today on this course. So somebody was getting away with free golf balls, right? And those things after tax are about $6 a piece. But I did finally find a box that had everything in it. All right, 17th hole, we're moving at a pretty good clip here. I don't like when these get too long. You guys can see that we're OB along the right. I'm just gonna bail out to the left. It's actually a super tight fairway. If you're not on the fairway, if you're too far right, you're gonna be OB. So we gotta make sure this club face is nice and closed here. Okay, I aimed left and then I hit it straight left, so we'll see what kind of follow-up shot we've got. We might actually play this other fairway all the way up. You can call it whatever you want. I'm an opportunist, and I don't want to waste a stroke when I can just hit up this other fairway. You can call it whatever you want. That is not my judgment call to make. This ball's not going to get very high in the air. Got to really give this the what's up here. And I hit it right, so we're not even going to play that adjacent fairway, but we should be okay. 126 over. We're playing everything but the actual fairway we're supposed to be on. And we just want to be on the green here. We're not trying to do anything special. Nice easy shot here. Come on, ball. That wasn't bad, guys. Hopefully this is a par 5. If not, we are dead in the water. Looks like it is. Guys, I'm not paying very good attention to the chat. Looks like Tim's running errands and wants to get home so he could get into the sim. And then we started talking about PXG golf balls. Okay, I think we're good. Got to take this button box apart and see what the hell is malfunctioning inside of it. Am I holding the correct club here? Yes, I have my Bogey. That'd have been nice. That'd have been nice. All right, guys, we're 4 over after 17. I'd say that's pretty admirable in a Bogey's Backyard Golf League event. Bogey does not choose easy courses. But if I'm doing well in here, that means I'm going to be in like 56th place out of 60 people, which is fine. It's good getting the reps in. Let's see if we can't bash a drive down here. She's going a little right. I don't love it. Looks like I came a little over the top, but we'll just be over in the rough. It was a good shot. Ton of backspin, so I don't think it went very far. That's almost twice as much backspin as you want on driver. And we can see my attack angle was 2 degrees down. You want to be hitting up on the ball with your driver. That's why you see the professional golfers, they tilt slightly to the right. You want to be looking at not quite the back dimple on the ball, but you want to be looking at the back of the ball, which is completely different than an iron. You want to almost be looking at like the top left of the golf ball when you're hitting an iron, because they're two very different types of shots. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. I'm just trying to sound smart. I'm sure it's working real well. Decent shot. Looks like it's going to be right. And we had 3,500 RPM of backspin. Oh, that ball's going away. That's nasty. I think I'm going to go to the driving range after this. It's only about 3 p.m. my time. I'm going to go onto the GS Pro driving range and see what the difference in spin is between a premium TP5X golf ball here and these shitty MAXFLI TRIFLIs. Like, they're 25 bucks a box normally, but they're 15 bucks a box on sale right now. And 2 different times I went in and the sale was still going on. So my guess is they're trying to get rid of stock because the golf season's basically over here. That'd be my guess. Get in the hole. Okay, guys, that is the round. I'd say that went strikingly well. Definitely a tale of 2 nines here. We shot a 41 on the front and a 35 on the back for a 76. Let's check out stats. Looks like we got a 280-yard drive on the fairway with 152 ball speed. Almost 50% greens and fairways. 83 feet of putting. I think I'm starting to wrap my head around what that stat means. 29 putts I wouldn't say is anything to write home about. And then just 6 bogeys. No doubles, no double pluses. That's really good. If you guys are still tuned in, I'm going to do a little bit of work on the driving range. It's not going to be ball speed training because I'm too sore to do that. And I wouldn't say driver is a sore spot right now in my game. So I guess you could say I'm resting on my laurels. Okay, we're going to take the 7-iron. Going to give it a little scrub so the face is as catchy as it can be here. Using some mouth lube. Make sure this face is as grabby as it can be. That's another thing I don't do that I would recommend that you guys do, is clean your golf clubs, because they get enough grass and gunk and ball jacket leave-ins on them and they stop being as grippy. Another thing about these clubs, these Callaway Rogue ST Maxes, is that they are very de-lofted. As an example of that is my pitching wedge is a 41-degree loft. So you're going to have less spin across the board because everything's de-lofted. But let's hit 7-iron here a few times with a premium ball and then a few times with these dog shit balls and see what happens with our spin. You can see the spin metric is at the top right on SGPRO, and your spin metric is at the top left in the lab software. I guess if I was being a good guy, I could make those two larger, but we'll just talk through it. Let's get a general idea what the spin looks like on this TRIFLI, MAXFLI TRIFLI 7-iron. Okay, 4,571 spin there. Nice little shot with the 7. SGPRO saw 4,600 spin. Let's look at another one and see if we just keep on getting right around the same thing, assuming they're not a mishit. That was not picked up by the launch monitor, which is unfortunate because it was another good shot. Looks like we're good now. If it does it again, we got a connector issue. Uh, 3,400 backspin. Another good shot with the 7-iron. You can see how de-lofted these are. My 7-iron's going almost 200 yards at my altitude. That was a bit of a mishit. You can see we got a buttload more spin. That doesn't count. I'd say we're still sitting at around 3,500 backspin with this ball. See, that one was 5,000 backspin. You can see it barely does anything. Okay, we got 2 at 5,000 and 2 at 3,500, which is sort of weird. Okay, there's another 5,000. So we've got a few at 5,000 and a few at 3,000 now. Miss hit, 3,500 though. Pulled it, 3,600. Okay, let's try the premium ball. We got a TP5X Pix here. Let's see if it gets less or more spin. The TP5X Pix is noticeably softer. $5,100 spin, less distance. I didn't look at the apex of any of those other shots though, unfortunately. So 5,000 spin, less distance. Okay, that was 3,800 spin. $4,500 spin. Bit of a miss hit, 5,000 spin. miss hit, 4,200 spin. So we're all over the place here. It would certainly be better if I could hit a few straight balls in a row, but that was a miss hit, 3,600 spin. You guys, there's also some, it's probably me, it's probably not the ball, but $3,400 spin. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that they're not that different. I think it's something to do with my spin. Is it Washington Hornet? Welcome to the chat. I'm sorry I missed it. You guys, the spin's not that much different on these two golf balls. 3,700. Yeah. I wouldn't say my attack angle's anything to write home about. That was a bunch of 7-iron shots with a TP5X picks and a MAXFLI TRIFLI, and honestly, they ain't that different. It's a little cold in the simulator, but I wouldn't say anything really to care about. It's 50 degrees in here. When you're moving, it doesn't matter. Let's hit a few with the 54-degree wedge. And we'll check the ricochet factor. So back to the MAXFLI TRIFLI. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but just the way it ricochets back at me a lot of the time is kind of scary. .4200 backspin with a 54-degree wedge, guys. That's got to be something wrong with my swing. See, the ricochet is absurd. 2,200 backspin. And that smashed straight into my Square Golf launch monitor. Hopefully that thing's okay. Yep, that one came over and hit the putter. 3,400 backspin. It's not a lot of backspin. Let's try the TaylorMade TP5X picks. Then we'll close out the stream. It's time for me to get ready for work tomorrow. Little bit of ricochet there. 7,000 spin. Slight ricochet, 8,000 spin. This one doesn't do anything like that other ball does. Okay, let's hit a TRIFLI dollar sign, and hopefully I don't get hit in the eye socket. Yep, 3,800 spin. Guys ain't gonna get much spin on a hard jacketed golf ball. Like, this is not a revelation, this is science. It's not grabbing, right? 3,000 spin on a 54-degree wedge. That was 4,900. That was a miss hit though. That was 25 yards short. Let's hit one more here. This thing is scaring the shit out of me, dude. 2,300 backspin, 54-degree wedge, six down on the ball, angle of attack. I don't know. They're not really hurting my game in here. The last time I was out on the golf course, I did game these TRIFLIs, and they didn't really affect my game too much. But maybe I could look into some better ricochet protection up here on the top of the simulator's impact screen enclosure. Anyhow, guys, it's been a pleasure having you along for the ride. It's Sunday. I got to start getting ready for my work week. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Alpine's always in the chat. Flying Fat Kid was able to step in for a while. Tim, Foof, all you guys, thank you. If you're not subscribed and you have the inclination, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But this is pretty much what you're going to get every video in the simulator, especially through the winter, because golf season's damn near wrapped up here in northern Utah. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you like the commentary, go ahead and tune in. Watch for those streams to start, and that's all I got for you guys. Foof, it was good to see you too. Have a great night as well. You guys, Turbo Talon Golf signing out. Have a good work week. We'll see you on the flip side.